So this past weekend was Anime NYC, the first anime convention in New York City, specifically Manhattan, New York City, in almost a decade. The last anime convention to be held there was New York Anime Festival, but sadly it has been closed because ReedPop is a shitty company. After 2009, they merged it with New York Comic Con, and in 2012 they completely dissolved it. And a lot of anime fans were really sad and pissed at the same time. So we didn't get a proper anime convention until now. There have been a couple of other smaller anime conventions, like Liberty City Anime Con, Waku Waku NYC, which is one I went to in 2015. And yeah, that's basically it. I think there are a few others, but in terms of like New York City conventions, anime specifically, there's really not a whole lot. But we now have a viable alternative to New York Comic Con, and it takes place in the Javits Center, and it's back to back after New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con is in October, and Anime NYC is in November. And Anime NYC has been a success, selling over 20,000 tickets, or I should say 20,000 people attended. So over 20,000 people. That's more than New York Anime Festival's second year. And it's pretty close to New York Anime Festival's third year. New York Anime Festival's first year, they had 15,000. And in the second year, they had around 18,000. And in the third year, they had 21,000. So this thing is doing incredibly well. And I'm very, very happy. I just hope it doesn't get too big like the way New York Comic Con is. I know New York Comic Con is more mainstream, but you get what I mean. But I'll explain why later. So anyway, the great things about Anime NYC, I'm going to break it down a little bit. First, I want to talk about the tickets. Man, the tickets. I got to say, it's very easy to get tickets. Even though tickets did get sold out by early November. And towards the end of October as well, I think. Their VIP tickets were almost sold out. No, I think the VIP tickets were sold out very early, but Saturday, Friday, and Sunday took a while. No, Friday and Sunday were never sold out, from what I've heard. I know Saturday tickets were sold out in no time. The Saturday tickets were sold out by the end of November. But we had plenty of time to buy Anime NYC tickets. I remember they were going on sale as early as January or late December last year. Yeah. And you had plenty of time to do it. Unlike New York Comic Con, where they announce it, and then on the day you gotta buy the tickets, go on sale. You gotta wait in queue for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and hope and pray that tickets are not sold out. I was very lucky these past few years because they've been doing that shit since 2014, and now it's gotten worse with the whole fan verification thing and shit. And I totally understand that because of scalpers and resellers and shit, but it's getting harder and harder to get tickets. It's getting so much more difficult. It wouldn't surprise me one bit that Saturday and Friday tickets would be sold out. And the worst part about this is they got rid of the multi-day passes starting this year, and that really pissed me off. That is just shit. The pricing of the tickets is great too. So you have $60 for weekend passes. Let's take a look at the prices for a second. Okay, so you have $35 for a Friday ticket. That is insanely cheap. And then Saturday for it's for $45 you get a Saturday ticket. So in total that's $80. And then Sunday is an extra $40. So that adds up to $110. So but there's a weekend ticket, multi-day pass, and it's $60. So you don't have to buy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday tickets individually. You can just get the weekend pass for $60, and it's insanely cheap. Now compare that to New York Comic Con. Even if you buy the tickets individually from Anime NYC, the tickets are still cheaper. The New York Comic Con tickets are incredibly expensive. Thursday, and let's compare the prices to New York Comic Con. Thursday is $45. Friday is $50. Saturday is $50, and Sunday is $50. Now let's take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday alone. That is $150. That's subtracting shipping and tax, by the way. So Anime NYC sells tickets individually for $110, and if you buy the multi-day pass, you get $60. So either way, you're saving money. But for New York Comic Con, it is crazy expensive. And if you add Thursday, $45, it gets almost $200. It's crazy. So yeah, ticket prices are insanely cheap for Anime NYC, but that's not all. You could also buy Anime NYC tickets at local anime shops around New York City. That reminds me of, all of this stuff reminds me of New York Comic Con back when I started going, back in like 2012 or 2013. I remember when I could go to like a local comic book shop to get New York Comic Con tickets. Nowadays, you can't even do that. First they started like that, and then Midtown Comics became the exclusive in-person seller for New York Comic Con tickets, and then after that, it was sold exclusively online. Thankfully, Anime NYC has kind of brought back those memories, and I'm very glad because in case I couldn't buy them online, I could just get them in person. That is just fan-fucking-tastic. So now we get to the nitty-gritty, the convention itself. Now when you enter the convention, it's a piece of cake. All you gotta do is just show your badge, and that's it. I think they checked my bag because I had a coat on, and I was carrying a coat with me while I was cosplaying, and they just checked it for a bit, but that's it. You can just go in, just show your badge, and you're good to go. And that's much easier than New York Comic Con, where you gotta wait in line for so long, and then you gotta do that whole tap-in thing, which is very annoying. It just feels really weird. It's insane. It's insane. Like, I understand you want to be more secure, shit, because you have like scalpers and resellers and shit, and people who buy New York Comic Con tickets from like people in the street. Because I've seen that shit happen, but still, it was just very annoying. But now Anime NYC is now it's so much easier. And now continuing with the convention now, in terms of how big it is, even though it's in the Javits Center, the show floor is actually smaller. It's a lot smaller than in New York Comic Con. The show floor was only open when you enter, let's say when you enter the front door of the Javits Center, and you go in, you have like the left side, the middle side, and the right side of the show floor. You go inside the main entrance above, from above, not underground where the parking lot is. You go, and the main entrance where you go up, and then there's that part of the show floor that part of the floor where you go to the show floor, and there's like the left, the middle, and the right. Well, for here, only the left side was open from the show floor. Yeah, the show floor is a lot smaller, and of course, since the convention is just starting, there's gonna be less people. But to me, that's kind of a good thing, because in recent years, I've been getting tired of the insanely crowded New York Comic Con in the show floor. Like, it's almost hard. You don't have barely any room to breathe. It's very, very difficult. You gotta walk around like, oh, okay, excuse me, get the fuck out of the way. But in Anime NYC, there was a lot of room to breathe, and I was so happy, even though the show floor was only part of it open, and there was still a lot of room to breathe. It was overall, it was a breath of fresh air. I was so happy. man, it was easy to walk around, meet people, take pictures, check out all the stores. I felt more relaxed than before, when I go to New York Comic Con. For some reason, I feel kind of anxious when I walk around New York Comic Con, at least when it comes to recent years. In the early days, ever since my first year in 2012, the early days when I went to New York Comic Con, it wasn't like that. But in recent years, oh man, it's been pretty bad in terms of how crowd control is. It's pretty dang bad. And also I remember when every time I try to enter the con, you have to go through this long ass line, insanely long line. Oh my god, it's terrible now. I don't know. I think I'm gonna give up New York Comic Con, but if I do, maybe I'll go for like a day, because I mean, if I do give up New York Comic Con and just go to Anime NYC, the only thing I'm gonna miss is Rooster Teeth. And of course the occasional YouTuber and internet celebrity that comes in. I mean, New York Comic Con is fun. I mean, it is still kind of fun to go to, but it's also kind of stressful. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Anime NYC, I've pretty much had no stress whatsoever. I felt relaxed walking around the convention, doing everything. It was... I could have so much fun without feeling so stressed, with everything. Now, to be fair, though, that may change in the near future. Because, hey, hypothetically speaking, if Anime NYC becomes incredibly big to the point where it is as big as New York Comic Con, it may suffer the same problems. I hope not, though. I'm hoping it doesn't become too big. I want it to continue to be more successful, but I don't want it to get super uber big like New York Comic Con. And of course, this convention is more focused on anime. It's more for the fans, whereas New York Comic Con is now a pop culture, insanely mainstream pop culture event, with a lot of marketing, a lot of sponsors and shit. It has like The Walking Dead. It has a lot of support from Hollywood now. Anime NYC, no, but I'm kind of glad it is, because it is for the weebs, or the otakus, the anime, the hardcore anime Japanese fans in general. For that stuff. It's basically the spiritual successor to New York Anime Festival. Even though I've never been to New York Anime Festival, I can understand where some people are coming from when they compare it to like New York Anime Festival back in the day. Another thing, my internet connection was better on my phone and during Anime NYC than when I go to New York Comic Con. When I take pictures and I uploaded them to Instagram or Twitter, when I'm at New York Comic Con, the internet is so damn slow when I try to upload pictures and shit, and videos especially. There's sometimes I upload Instagram and Twitter videos. It's almost a pain in the ass. Like, oh my god, will you just upload already? I mean, even pictures take a while to load. It's insane. Anime NYC, for some reason, gave me a better internet connection, and this is not through Wi-Fi. This is through my phone's own mobile data. It's crazy. Maybe my guess is that the smaller crowded area, the fact that Anime NYC is much less crowded than New York Comic Con, that may have given me better internet. I don't know. That's my guess, because that's a pretty good guess from what I can say. Now, even though Anime NYC is the show floor in Anime NYC is only one part of the Javits Center, you can still walk around like through the main lobby and through the stairs. You can eat food, and also the artist alley is like upstairs, and I think it's a great place to put the artist alley. It's such an easy place to get into, and other than that, and when you go to like the other parts of the Javits Center, there's plenty of space where like other cosplayers just chilling, and shit like that. It was, it's really a breath of fresh air. I have never seen, people chill around at the convention in the Javits Center in a long time. And when I go to New York Comic Con, everybody's like squished together. Oh my god. So I've never been to any panels though. Maybe next year I'll go to panels. The only downside I can say about Anime NYC is that the event is held during a time when it's pretty fucking cold. I mean, I had to walk in with like a coat, 2 sweaters, and then my cosplay underneath it just to keep me warm. Overall, Anime NYC 2017 is amazing. I had a really great time, not just in terms of the people that were there, the people that I met, but also the organizers. The organizers were fantastic. That's something I had never said about New York Comic Con in fucking forever. That's something I've never said about New York Comic Con. Anime NYC's organizers are great. And I'm finally happy. And I'm happy that we finally have a viable anime convention. Finally, after so many years of non-existent anime conventions. I mean, most of the really good anime conventions are outside the state. I mean, there's a few small anime conventions here and there, but that's it. But now we have a really, really amazing anime convention here in New York City, and it's great. I hope that anime companies and Japanese companies and companies that are more catered towards, Japanese pop culture fans, I hope they focus less on New York Comic Con or abandon New York Comic Con altogether and focus a lot more on Anime NYC, because anime and Japanese stuff have pretty much been tossed aside at New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con is for like the mainstream superheroes in the United States. That's pretty much what it's for. And Hollywood and shit. Now, what I'm hoping for is a video game convention in New York City. Something like PAX or something like that. Yeah, I would love to see a video game convention on the scale of PAX or maybe TwitchCon. Here's my recommendation. If you want to go to a convention, if you live in New York City, or if you live anywhere in the Northeast or the tri-state area, and you want to go to a convention that's for you, for your anime fans, or if you love, a convention for the fans, I highly, highly, highly recommend Anime NYC. Now, if you're more into pop culture and shit, or you like to see movie stars and TV stars in panels and shit, then go to New York Comic Con. It's basically San Diego Comic Con East Coast. It's become too Hollywood at this point. If you like that, then go ahead and pick New York Comic Con. But if you don't want that Hollywood vibe, definitely go to Anime NYC. Definitely go to Anime NYC. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, I'm AliRx, and I'll see you on the other side. Also, happy Thanksgiving.